Mom, are we supposed to be all turned off? The law!
Why? Where do you want to be? Oh well, we'll throw you down.
There's the lads again, getting in the thick of it.
Allied air supremacy was eventually able to defeat this threat by destroying U-boat bases and supplies.
Back us into it, right? Also known as a mortuary sword by the Victorians because of the head of the king. Right. Obviously, we don't know too much of that. No. It's still alive. Yeah, just back sword. Right. Most people don't wouldn't classify their swords, they just call it their sword.
So is it more of a cavalry weapon, or is everybody?
No, yes, it's very much a cavalry weapon. You can thrust with it, and you can also cut with it. The other kind of swords being used at the time were rapiers, which were really thrusting only. You couldn't really cut with them. It was this on horseback.
Right.
And the rapier was much more of a civilian weapon, whereas this...
fashion item.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, accessory more than a weapon. Whereas this was used on campaign.
Right. Its clothes are amazing. Is it Barney's boots next door then?
Man called Mark Wheeler. He's the leatherwork. He's got a shop downstairs in the factory.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
Barney's boots. Yeah.
I'm not sure what he's
Yeah, Barney with a J in it, I think.
Oh, no.
Very expensive.
Well, yeah,
Is it a tape or is it digital?
it's the digital tape.
I remember
Digital
Escape
tape.
from Castle
Oh, but
Wolverine when the guy...
it's not solid state.
I don't
Oh, in a solid, but it is in a solid state.
So far it is.
I'd like the costume what that guy had.
I don't.
Just before.
I'm not into civil war. Civil wars. No, it's not. It's like Tudor stuff. I don't know. It's like just have a dress on. It's like Vikings.
The Royal Armouries War Gallery. My name is Jonathan Brown and I'm one of the interpreters here at the museum. And today I'm wearing the clothing of a soldier from the period of the 100 Years' War. And during the following piece, I shall be trying to describe some of his thoughts and his feelings as he took part in the Battle of Castillon. The 100 Years' War came to an end in 1453 when the French routed the English at the Battle of Castillon, and Gascony was lost forever to the English after over 300 years of their rule. I don't believe it! Can't believe it! We've been beat! And John Talbot, the Earl of Shrewsbury, dead. John Talbot, our commander and scourge of the French, dead. But it all started so well. John Talbot were always quick to make up his mind and act, so it came as no surprise to us when on 16th of July he marched us out to Bordeaux and relieved for Castellon. There were about 6,000 on us. Talbot and head of his troops in vanguard, mounted with 500 men-at-arms and 800 archers. Infantry and artillery following on as fast as they could. We reached Le Bern after a 20-mile march, and there we made camp. But there were little rest for us. To the north at Dordogne Valley lay high ground, covered in thick forest, and to the north of that lay Priory of Saint Laurent, where French had garrisoned over 1,000 archers. Lord Talbot decided on a march through night and an attack at dawn. Now the French had stationed their sentries on the road facing west, and as tangle of trees reached nearly to Priory gates, didn't expect an attack from there. Local guides brought us to Priory at dawn, and then we attacked, boldly and suddenly. The French were taken totally unawares. We slaughtered many of them in their beds. And those we didn't cut down, well, they fled eastward, pursued by our cavalry. And they returned with news of this artillery camp. We were in high spirits, not tired, and bloody hungry. We'd marched all 30 miles without food, no water, and fought a battle at end on it. So Lord Talbot decided to wait for the rest of the army to catch up. French knew we were here now, and a surprise attack just weren't possible. He sent Sir Thomas Irvingham to scout the artillery camp. Now the French archers had left plenty of food and wine behind, albeit covered in garlic, but the old Earl told us to tuck in and get some rest, bless him. But while we were eating, can you believe it? A messenger raced in from Castellon with news of a full French retreat. From city walls, they could see horsemen travelling away from camp and a cloud of dust following it behind. Lord Talbot immediately ordered the attack. We mounted our horses and splashed across River Ladore, about 3 bow shots away. As we mounted steep bank onto the side of the river, a wide open plain confronted us. I'll never forget it. 600 yards away was French camp, and it was huge. Half a mile long, 200 yards wide, backing onto River Ladore in north. A large earth rampart reinforced with tree trunks, and on the top, guns, hundreds of them, and manned the old French army. There were no retreat at all. The horsemen, seen fleeing camp, had just been turned out to make room for archers fleeing from Priory. Well, with these odds, we're out. How you doing? You want to look at these? Well, you can. You can't hold them. You have a look. That's a swallowtail flesh cutter. Yeah. So this was designed to go into the flesh of an unarmoured man and knock him out. Yeah. Or an unarmoured horse, of course. So very deadly horses. This one, the bodkin end, that was designed to go through mail, not plate, but mail armour. So this, well, it would actually, the ring in the armour, in the mail, it would go in, and as it went in, it's tapered, yeah, so it gets bigger towards the end. With the power of the shot, it would push open the ring and keep going, and hopefully go all the way through to the man underneath, yeah. So a well-aimed shot at 50 or 60 yards would still have enough power to actually push through the mail and go into the man underneath.
That'd be cool to have on that.
Oh, that's,
That looks like a brain gun,
You know,
Brand gun.
isn't it?
You know Band of Brothers? I think they had that machine.
Yeah, they are. They've got brand.
BAR.
That'd be so He's gonna get dressed up.
This is where they put everything on, isn't it? This is where they must have to keep it polished and everything else, like armour.
Do you put that?
Oh, this is getting ready for the 15th century sword fighting, isn't it?
Right.
So you seen him? You could finish your film of them, how they get dressed and how they do the fighting.
Welcome to the tournament gallery. My name is Keith, this is Paul. For those of you who haven't seen us already, we're two of the interpreters, and of course our job is to try and give you a greater insight into the arms and the armour in the collection. Now the tournament gallery is the part of the museum where we look at the combat skills and the arms and armour of the medieval warrior in duels, in tournaments and on the battlefield. However, as you'll have noticed from your programmes, this is a mastering arms session, and by that we mean it's an open rehearsal session, an open training session. It's an opportunity for us to re-rehearse old fight routines, rehearse new ones, and to give you an insight into the fight developing process here at the museum. I, with my sword high, all having an obvious series of attacks.
Show us the archer. There he is behind you.
I kill you!
You're getting carried away now.
Ah!
There he is, look, I can't see him.
Imagine having that massive arrow. It's not that big.
Scaling a castle's walls by means of a ladder was a hazardous business. Using siege tools was a little safe.
That big.
The house could approach the wall.
The usual arrow is
Section of a dry ditch or moat that was lifted and bridge. Best defence against a siege tool was fire, and most were covered in raw hides which were clipped wet to prevent the huge wooden structure from being set alight. No. Once the attacking force had reached the castle walls and into the bay,
Look, Billy, this is
they
cool.
might use the battery to force the inner gate leading to the keep. And the battle for the castle would end in hand-to-hand fighting.
You're not going to film that, am I?
Oh, this one's I meant that one on the end on the right hand side. I didn't realise they were that thick.
That one is.
Imagine if if you're loading it, got your fingers in the way.
It's ivory, that, no, isn't it?
It hurt your thumb.
You'd have somebody's eye out, wouldn't you? It's dangerous, isn't it?
A gizam, I've never even heard of that one. Scottish. Jedburgh staves. Lots of old bards. I've never seen one of them before. Like a lathe or something. Nasty.
Ooh. That hat there.
That's hat there. Oh, that one had a visor. So don't do that. Oh, it's not
I advise you. Have you got the tights as well?
What? Not tight. Oh God! How would they have got in there? The thing is, once you got them on, I mean, it's wool. How do you get them off again? I don't believe they were that tight. Surely it's got to be good.
I think what it is they're sprayed on. It's been sprayed on and touched up.
Hey, you can't say that.
Would you like to be sprayed on and touched up?
You can't just say that when you're not a
Well, they do it all sorts, you know, with them dummies.
Bill Oakes.
Bill Oakes?
No, really.
What? Bill Oakes? Is that him? Or is that a Bill Oak?
A Picandine.
Look at those over there.
Of course. There's a bill. Dear.
Look at that dead man. Look at that guy's face.
Do you know this thing? Oh,
What?
about 100 years war. Charles IV, 1328, through Francis' state of chaos. Philip, his brother, caused a breach with England by persuading Count Flanders to disrupt the wool trade with England. So when they first started the 100 years war, and it was a bit of a, also to try and reclaim France for England. But what's it from Radcliffe, John Radcliffe, from Radcliffe Tower, went to Flanders after Corn, Cressy and the other place, and negotiated with them into a state of peace. And for it, he was allowed to take Flemish weavers and settle in Salford.
Oh.
And it was him that kick-started off the fabric trade in the north of England.
There you go then.
And no, but it's never, they don't blow the trumpet in Salford. It's crazy, isn't it?
Well, you mean the societies. This is Leeds. There's a weir there.
Romeo and Juliet. The play begins with the stage direction. Exercise Gregory of the House of Fabulous, bearing sword and buckler. Now this is a reference to the traditional English combination of broad-bladed sword, small rounded shield, buckler, both of which were common on the battlefields of the day, amongst the lower class of merchants and apprentices. Now, these weapons were used in a combination of hooks, cuts and crosses, the swords, the direct hits, and punches with the buckler. And when Abraham and Balthazar of the house of Montague enters, Samson urges his friend to action with the words, "Remember thy swashing blows."
He must have really hated them ducks on his pond.
Look at the duck. It's for killing ducks. Look, who's got one. Maybe you could jump over to there. Is that a long thing?
I'm not sure. Pack it in, fella.
That's dumb, Trev. I say that Akeem used to have an old version of the Nintendo, and he says, "Why is it old?"
Because it's not as new as the new ones.
Yeah, and he goes, "Why is it old?"
It's you're tying it up with the old biggest and newest, fastest, brightest. The list is endless. For the boats. Max is yawning.
I bet it's all mashed up. Let's see. You can't see Billy. Billy's gone mad. Let's see his face. Wait, make it all mashed up.
I can't.
Do the thing with the black teeth. Yes, you can.
It might take a while, because I'm not used to all this.
Yes, you are.
He's moving now.
Negative art there. Smile for the camera, Billy. Smile. Look at yourself.
Give it a smile.
Let's look at you. Let's look at you. What? Let's see your teeth. Why has he got black teeth on his?
Yeah. Do it.
Where do you go with it?
Black teeth.
That'll do it. That'll do it.
Oi! It's not even filming.
It is.
Let's do it. Yes, yes.
Look at that helm, which is not made as many helms were in the later Middle Ages, from a single piece of iron, beaten into shape by being hammered out over a former. Rather, this one's made from a whole series of individual panels and strips of metal, which have all been riveted together. Now, this kind of helm is popularly known as a spanner helm, and exhibits a characteristic feature of medieval European armour design, insofar as it gives a glancing surface against attack. In other words, the steeply domed design means that blows aimed at this helm should, in theory at least, be deflected to one side. If I pop it on my ever so handsome head though, you'll immediately see that it's really only useful for protecting the crown of the head against attack. The face here is barely protected by the nasal or nose bar, and although there was frequently, we think, another strip running down to protect the back of the neck, the rest of the body had to make do for its protection with a combination of mail and padding. Now, mail is this flexible defence of thousands of interlinking iron rings. You wear a coif or a headpiece of mail like this to protect your face and your neck and throat, at least to some extent against attack. And underneath you have a padded arming cap, something like this. For the rest of the body, a hauberk or full coat of mail, and underneath that, an acketon or a padded coat. And the trick was, of course, that the mixture of the resilient mail rings on top, coupled with all that thick and absorbent padding underneath, made these armours relatively good protection against attacks from cutting weapons. And the primary sidearm of the warrior at this period was a broad-bladed, double-edged cutting sword. However, these armours were rather less protection against attacks from thrusting weapons such as spears and lances. And here we have a good reproduction of a Norman-style spear-stroke lance. And as you can see, it's just a natural wooden shaft made straight with an iron head riveted on. Now this kind of weapon could be used from horseback to jab down on your opponents as you rode by, or to hurl through the air at them, or, of course, you could couch it. And couching was the action of tucking the lance up under the arm, steadying it and controlling it with the hand, and in this position it was possible to both give and receive very powerful blows from horseback, providing you were wearing stirrups. Now stirrups, as far as we know, originated in the East by the end of the 11th century. Of course they were in common use all over Europe, and the great advantage of a pair of stirrups, as any rider will tell you, is they give you a much deeper and more secure seat in the saddle. One thing we should realise, though, is that these early tournaments were often not much less than mock battles, often fought across miles of open countryside by rival teams of knights. The only rules were you had to capture as many of the opposing team as possible, and this made perfect sense because everybody you captured you could ransom, and those who couldn't or wouldn't pay their ransoms had to forfeit their armour, their weapons and their horses. You can imagine it was a way for some knights to get very rich very quickly, and for others to pretty well bankrupt themselves. Now, we're going to take a leap through time, a couple of hundred years, in a single bound to the end of the 13th century. The mail and the padding had continued to be the principal body defence, but now a new kind of helms made its appearance, the so-called Great Helm. Still made from panels and strips riveted together. The most obvious improvement here is this angulated facial plate, so that what had hitherto been just about the most vulnerable part of the warrior's anatomy is now very well protected indeed. Problem was, there was a price, as there always is when you set up the desire to be well protected against the desire to be comfortable. To begin with, you've got restricted vision. You can only see through the sight or the eye slit in the helm. And you've got reduced breath control because you can only breathe through the breaths or breathing holes punched in the front of the helm here. And the reason why we call it a great helm is for the same reason as we still sometimes refer to today a great coat, a coat that goes on over all your other clothing, because
There you go, Max.
Jump down off the barrier for me. Oh, you've already had a go.
There you go, Max.
No, absolutely. We fight with these weapons as well, but we don't reenact anything. We interpret.
That's why
Well, no, but we do go blade to blade with these, but they are very good blades. These are Deltin blades, which Roy King does. He is an agent for Deltin. Deltin, yes, he makes he manufactures the blades.
Yeah.
Make him get that.
All right.
Alright. Come down, that's it, good lad. Shall I try on? I thought you stood there longing for
What's it like, fella?
What?
Is it heavy?
Yeah.
Get in then, Billy.
I wanna wear the helmet.
tell you. You want to have that sword? Yeah, you can do that.
Can I hold the helmet?
Has it gone?
What did he do?
You turn it sideways nearly at that lad.
Sword. Want that helmet?
Helmet match.
You're like any if you're right.
Try this one? No, you want that one?
I'll try that before.
Thank you very much. Jump on the barrier again. That side. Thank you. Yep. You ready? You're in.
Can you see?
Don't do too much moving about, you might fall over. Keep close to the barrier.
Can you see?
Yep.
Do you want to go, Billy?
Here we go. You're trying to throw yourself out of it now, aren't you? Yeah.
I've got quite a big head.
There you go.
Like it locked.
Right, you'll have to tuck your ears in.
It is like
No, I am serious.
Welcome to the War Gallery. My name's Pete. I'm one of the interpreters here. My job, of course, is to try and give you a greater insight into the arms and the armour in the collection. Now, this interpretation is entitled The Duel on Roundway Down. Roundway Down was one of the battles of the early phase of the English Civil War in the mid-17th century. It's not a battle that many people know a great deal about, but it is important the students of arms and armour in one particular respect. It was the last battlefield on English soil that saw a charge of fully armoured cavalry, because the cuirassiers, the heavy cavalry of the mid-17th century, rode into battle wearing almost as much full plate armour as the knights and men-at-arms of the late Middle Ages. Problem was, times had changed, and this didn't stop them being humiliatingly put to flight by far more lightly armed groups of royalist troopers wearing not much more armour and weaponry than myself. Now the story itself is how one of these swashbuckling cavalier captains, Sir Richard Atkins, just Richard Atkins at that time, came up on the field of battle against a fully armoured rebel general, Sir Arthur Hazelrig, and how they fought with pistol and then with sword. And the words you should know are pretty well Atkins' own. They've only been slightly adapted to make the piece a little bit more dramatic. And Atkins himself had actually arrived late at the Battle of Roundway because he'd been exhausted from earlier fighting at Lansdowne Hill. However, as he says in his own words, we lost no time, but marched directly towards the enemy, who you should know were arrayed with their foot in the centre. On either side were wings of horse, and before all were the cavaliers. Now what shall I tell you of our charge, eh? I shall merely say it was so sudden I barely had time to put on my arms. And the enemy, well, the enemy were about twice our number, being 6 deep in order, and we but 3 deep by reason of our sudden charge. And though, therefore, our line stretched beyond theirs at both ends, still we found ourselves facing troops of cuirassiers, so well armed and so closely packed that I swear, and Punchinello himself, being at that battlefield, he could scarce have got among them. And yet for all that, to this day I will swear, no men ever charged better than ours did that day. Indeed, their cavaliers, seeing our resolution, never even fired a shot. Now, I, by good fortune, found myself charging in a direct line towards their general of horse, or so I perceived him to be by his place on the battlefield. Now he discharged both his pistols at me at too great a range to do me any hurt before I came close enough to fire one of my own, and I must have struck him too.
Look at this machine gun. Here. Look at it. He's got proper armour.
I'm going to show the viewers Arthur and the Round Table. Where's Arthur? There's Arthur.
Look at that sword
Oh, it's
there.
not. That's not Arthur.
Oh, basket hilty broadsword, so
That's
you wouldn't get your hands hurt, would you?
No.
No, round the round table.
Boxed sword thing. The round table.
Chess pieces. With the little Victorian style.
Big guns.
Cannons.
Wow, look at them pole arms. Wow.
What are pole arms?
Out of the sort of like sharp bits on the end of the stick. So you've got bow spears on both sides. In the middle you've got, oh, some nasty thing, partisan in the middle.
And party.
Partisan, you've got morning stars on the end. Bow spears, bardiches, halberds, English bills, oh, Italian bills, Swiss bills, partisan in the middle.
Muskets.
Eh?
Muskets.
Oh, good. Well, if you must. Some musty gets here as well.
There's a big cannon there, look.
Whose idea that was? What? But it must have been this answer. So it's short. They're not famous. Can you imagine them? How they must have been as well?
Did you think it was biological?
The weight of these things. Jingo.
You'd have to really hate someone, wouldn't you, to make that?
Like you could.
Play paradise instead of rubber anyway.
You'd be like, it's not cement, they're not cemented.
Let's go to see this thing on level 2.
That's all you needed. And at the time, this was state-of-the-art equipment. This was the sort of thing that every pistol fighter on the battlefield would love to have actually had, because they were, for the period, relatively reliable. A lot of people were carrying what were called wheel locks, which meant that instead of this flint prison arrangement, you had a sprung wheel. And it was the wheel that actually struck another piece of metal, and that made the spark. They weren't awfully reliable, which is strange when you see how long flints can go. Yeah, exactly. You wound them up until they clicked. It was on a spring. Exactly. And the spring made the wheel spin round. And part of the problem was, of course, if you wound them up and then didn't shoot them, all the spring went out of the spring, and when you pulled the trigger, either it didn't work at all, or it went so slowly that it didn't make a spark. Around about the beginning of English Civil War in the 1640s, they'd done some of these. I mean, by the end of the Civil War, there were still plenty of people who were using wheel locks, or even match locks, where you simply had a piece of match that fed, burning match that fed into the pan there. Say these were, one of the problems were that the parliamentarians, they ordered large quantities of flint locks from suppliers on the continent who said they could produce it.
But when they came, they were so useless, they were completely unreliable because they'd been turned out quickly without the craftsmanship necessary to make the lock.
Is that the most expensive mechanism out of the
Lock
three
is the
then?
most expensive.
Did they used to work in the rain, being British weather like?
Oh well, no, very frequently not. I mean, the only advantage with the flintlock was because they developed the knack of putting the pan cover over the top.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then that meant that even if it was pouring down with rain, there was a chance that that spark would set off that powder. The powder wouldn't be too wet, the spark wouldn't be hit with drizzle.
Yeah.
And that's what made them more reliable than most. But certainly they were still prone to failing fairly constantly in wet
Did
weather.
they ever like sort of counter back?
You like that
Hey,
one?
it's not an ordinary horse, I had a look.
What?
It's its face, it's a unicorn. They've pressed into service.
So that's what's happened to him now.
It's either that, or the spike comes out from the front of him and he's not getting off that horse.
Have you seen the one next door? In the snow?
Hey, nice boots. Some boots there.
I'm filming boots.
Hey?
I found myself filming boots.
They must have got lots in there.
I'll go film this other one in here.
It's not like he's just going to kill me, no!
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Could I have your attention, please? This is your announcement. Due to adverse weather conditions, the following demonstration, due to take place outside in the field yard, is now being brought inside the building.
Max, man, what do you think so far?
Cool.
Is it? Would you want to put a coat on?
No, no. Look at that.
Which was really silly. It's one of the silliest fashions ever. And like, nothing on the legs at all. You know, alright,
Think
he's
so.
got
Oh,
all
he's
that
got
up
arm
like
to the
that.
teeth at the
You've
top,
got another
yeah.
pike. What are you going to go for?
Oh, it'll be the bagoolies.
Well, no, I'd go for his bloody kneecaps.
I suppose there is that, yeah. Look at them kneecaps.
Either run up to him and jump on his foot. That's another one. Like that. Alright, I'll take that.
I think you're underestimating the seriousness of war, Paul. Standing on the foot. So I run up, Sergeant, and I stood on his foot and thought that'll do him. And then he sliced me in two.
It's amazing. All that's made by this Christian Therese of Innsbruck.
Where's Innsbruck?
In 1500s. It's like Austria, isn't it?
Oh right, so it's original.
It does look gothic, doesn't it? And that's what it's called, it's gothic armour. Look, it's like it looks like fantasy stuff. You wouldn't believe that was real. You'd think that's Hollywood, wouldn't you? It's real. It's real. It's that old and all.